Welcome to Triggered, coming to you this week from the Secret Hidden Bunker and Dragon House Studios. I'm your host, Michael Bain. This week brought to you by MTM Case Guard and Rock Island Armory. And yes, we get a lot of really interesting guns through here, right? And this may well take the cake. This is the new generation of the Taurus Judge. It's the Taurus Home Defender. It's in 3-inch, 410, and 45 Colt. And feature function-wise, got an aluminum Picatinny rail on top. You can put a dot sight right on it. Obvious you've got this foregrip because you're going to be shooting this 13-inch barrel beastie like this. That's why these steel blast shields are important to protect your forward hand. Weighs about, I don't know, 3.5 a little better pounds, so it's not exactly a snubby. And I've always had a soft spot for the Taurus Judge, ever since I handled one of the prototypes before they came out. There are people on the internet who've made an entire career of dissing Taurus Judges, which has helped make it one of the best-selling handguns in America. But I took one look at this guy and I said, oh, I have to have that. This is one I'm going to keep. In terms of ammunition, 3-inch, 410. I happen to have, for reasons I don't fully understand, 2 full cases of Winchester triple-aught buck, 5-pellet triple-aught buck. That's 5 36 caliber pellets at about 1,100 feet per second. I don't know where they came from. I'm happy I have them. I also have a lot of 45 Colt. The criticism of the Taurus Judge comes down to, well, there are better self-defense guns. There are. But if you had to choose how to protect yourself or how to protect your home, as I've said this before, you're going to choose Mike Seeklander and 5 of his closest friends. But you can't get that. So every gun that you use for home protection, for self-defense, is a compromise. However, I would like for you to think briefly about 5 36 caliber balls. That's like pulling the trigger 5 times quickly on a .380 semi-auto, because basically they're both 36 caliber roughly. With a .380, you're going to see 90 or 100 grain bullets at about 1,000 feet per second. Secondly, with this 13-inch barrel, you're going to get a little more juice out of a 45 Colt. And even if you look at a 45 Colt like these Winchester cowboy loads, 250 grains at 750 feet per second. Kids, that's what Wyatt Earp used. It turned out it worked really well for like a century. It'll work really well for this. What I really like about it, and I'm going to show you on other shows because it's really kind of a fun thing to do, is this here is a varmint gun. There's a rattlesnake with this gun's name on it. And I don't have to put my hand really close to the rattlesnake where it might strike. And I'm less likely to shoot the line for my internet connection. I mean, I would never do that. But at least this way I can get a little closer. We'll show you more on this in upcoming weeks. When we come back, a little talk about how size matters.
You know the RIA 5.0 packs radically new innovations, but we didn't stop there. Introducing the RIA 5.0E. The E stands for enhanced, as in new optics, cuts, and plates. The updated barrel is crafted with improved materials and slide geometry. The look and feel is also enhanced. Plus, new lightning cuts show off the updated match-grade barrel. Experience the enhanced RIA 5.0E today.
Welcome back to Triggered. If you remember last week, we talked a little bit about the Stoeger STR9 Compact, the step up from the subcompact and from the micro 9mm. And on social media, a guy said, hey, Michael, what's the difference on them? Could you explain the difference or show us the difference? Yes, sure. This is the micro 9mm, the STR line. And right now it's running a SIG 0 red dot sight on it. You know, we talked about some issues with the Bushnell, but SIG 0, it's working fine. And then this is the compact version. And I think we can see here, putting them side by side, obviously, the slide's a little bit longer, about 3/4 of an inch, half an inch, 3/4 of an inch longer. And with the frame, same, we get roughly a half-inch longer frame. And the real difference for me is that you could go through a 2,000 round class with the compact and it's not going to beat you to death. One of the problems, and I've been shooting Micro 9s for a long time. Shooting Gallery was the first show to do a comparison of Micro 9s and talk about how the Micro 9mm was going to take over the market. The problem is they're just not that much fun to shoot. And what happens is a lot of people don't shoot them for that very reason. This is a very shootable Micro 9mm. I like it a lot. But still, if I'm putting 2,000 rounds a week through the gun, I'm going to want a little bit bigger. And realistically, that's why we've seen the Micro 9s, the very successful Micro 9s from SIG, from Ruger, from Springfield, fill in the blank, FN. They've all gotten a little bigger. And the reason they've gotten a little bigger is this fit. Because you're going to shoot them more. And you know what? You're going to shoot them better. And that's really important. And I'll show you that on the range a little bit later, different show. But basically, here's your size difference. Length doesn't matter because it's going down your pants. So this matters a lot because it's a lot easier to shoot. We'll be right back.
This week's Triggered is brought to you by Muzzle Stick. Biggest, brightest, strongest. Taurus USA. Always ready, always bring it. Stoeger. Everyday tough. SDS Imports, Thesis. Thesis means quality. Hunter's HD Gold. They change so you don't have to. And MTM Case Guard. Quality shooting sports accessories.
Welcome back to Triggered. Now this is just a little tease. This is my sweetie and I floating down the Seine toward the Eiffel Tower in Paris. You've heard of that. As you know, we did a dream vacation in Paris and Amsterdam recently, and basically I can't resist looking at guns when I get a chance. So in Paris there's this funky little museum. It is the Museum of Hunting in Nature. La Musée de la Chasse et de la Nature. Mais oui, right? Really weird little private museum. A whole room of stuffed animals from the late or mid 1800s up until early 1900s. A whole racks and racks of amazing guns without that much information on them because it's Europe. This isn't the Cody Museum and their curator isn't Ashley Blinsky. We also went to the Rijksmuseum in Amsterdam, one of the great museums in the world, where my sweetie found the arms room, which is in the basement of the basement of the basement in the corner. But a lot of these guns are works of art. In fact, that's the focus of both of these museums, works of art guns. So we're giving you a little tease today, and then in the next couple of weeks, we'll actually pull together a travelogue and show you a lot more of those two arms museums. Well, that's it for this week's Triggered. Remember, you can find us on michaelbain.tv. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Rumble. You can find us on X that used to be Twitter. Thank you very much to Rock Island Armory and all our other advertisers here that have helped us out a lot. And hey, coming up on Thanksgiving, see you next week.